friends, and welcome to the Leamy Homestead. Today we're going to be making hot cross buns. Why don't you come into the kitchen and we'll get started. I'll have everything down in the description box you need. So come on in and let's get started. I have my dry mixture in with all my spices, flour, and sugar. And now I'm pouring in the milk, the sour cream, the butter, and the vanilla. And the egg. So we'll leave this to mix and incorporate. I have some that has already been rising. It takes 2 rises. And this is what it looks like after the second proof. It's nice and fluffy, very pillowy, and we're going to take that down. It's a little sticky or tacky, but not wet. And in this recipe, I have both orange peel and I have raisins. Come over here and I'll show you how to roll it. We're going to cut it with a pastry blend cutter. And we're going to cut it into 12 pieces. Cut it into thirds, and then cut it into thirds. And then you're going to make, with your fingers, a little circle, and you're going to roll it. It's just that easy. And it goes really quick, as you can see. Some people like to take measurements. I just like them to be relatively the same size. And the interesting thing about hot cross buns, and the reason they're celebrated at Christmas and Easter, is the cross symbolizes the crucifixion of Christ, but the spices that go into it represent the spices that were wrapped around Jesus when he was entombed. And in the 1500s, it was outlawed that it could only be done at Easter and funerals, but then Queen Elizabeth decided that it would be okay, but they thought that it had supernatural powers, and that's why they put a stop to it. And these are going to rise up so beautifully. So there's 3 rises in this. 2 rises in the bowl and 1 rise once they've been formed. And that way you get a beautiful crumb. And you don't want this pastry too dry because you want it to be moist. And the fruit helps do that. Now I'm just going to rinse my fingers off because it is a little tacky. And these will go into the oven. And the ones that are ready to have the cross will come out. So I'll just clean up my work area real quick with my bench scraper. And these are on their third rise. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to brush them with an egg wash. So this is 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of cream. And we're just going to brush that over, and that'll give them a beautiful glaze. And you know, these buns don't have to be perfect. You're making them with love. They're going to taste delicious, and your home is going to smell so beautiful. And they really couldn't be easier to make. And with this particular batch of dough, I made it last night and put it in for the third rise in the refrigerator so that it would have a slow rise, which always tastes better. And the next thing we're going to do after I finish this is make a paste of flour and water to draw the cross on the buns. And then these buns will be ready to go in the oven to be baked. It's very easy. Anyone can do this. Just remember to put your egg wash on before you put your cross on, because the cross will smear. So here we have our flour and water. And I'm just going to mix it. It's about 1/3 cup of flour and a little over 1/4 cup of water. You just want it to pipeable consistency. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. You just want it to be able to come out of the, now that's maybe just a hair dry. And we'll just add a wee drop. And that's a good consistency right there. So we'll put it in a piping bag, and you don't need a piping bag. You can use like a sandwich bag if you don't have a piping bag. But I have piping bags, so I'm just gonna drop it in there. And I always put it in a glass because that's like my third hand. Holds the bag beautifully. And you just squish it down, and you just cut the tip off, not too big. And I go one way. And it's okay if they touch. That actually gives you a nice soft piece to bite into. And it's actually quite fun. I find this very fun. And everybody will be amazed that you made them, and they're just so easy. And there, my friends, that is ready to go into the oven at 350. We'll just take these out while I heat up the oven. 375, sorry. For 20 to 25 minutes. And they'll brown up beautifully. And now come and see the final product. And here's our final product. And so now, friends, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hands. Bye for now.